Yes, you're welcome with the Vibemaster JD, Saturday morning, B87.7FM, Afrobeats in the morning, your favorite African show, Afrobeat show, bringing the culture, the vibe, the music, the food, true music to you every Saturday morning. I have a special guest today on the show, a rapper,
No, I don't say no, no say
Nigerian rapper, doing her thing.
Yes.
And she just dropped a new single as well a couple of weeks ago. So we're going to talk about it on the show today. She's going to introduce herself here as well. She's got dope music. So definitely this is one to listen to. Let your friends know we're on air right now and the show is live. Sgawd, how you doing today, man? Welcome to Afrobeats in the morning.
I feel amazing. Other than being in Lagos traffic right now, you know how we do.
Yeah.
I feel amazing. Thank you so much for having me. I think it's great to be on here. Shout out to Boston FM. Shout out to you, Vibemaster. Thank you so much.
Yes. What we do is we bring the vibe, the culture to Africans across the globe, especially the East Coast of America, not of America. So today we're going to be talking about your new music, how you've got into this game, what you've been doing so far, your influence in the game. Let's start from your early life. Before I get into your early life, I would love you to introduce yourself to the people. Let them know who you are so that they know you from your own explanation to them.
Yes, sir. Well, what's good, everybody? What's good, Boston FM? My name is Sgawd, Seti the Supreme, Seti the Superior. You know how they call me? They say Sgawd. Okay, the God. That's who I am. I'm a Nigerian rapper. I'm actually from the south side of Nigeria. So I'm from Akwa Ibom State. I'm from a little place called Igbino in Akwa Ibom State. And I'm doing the thing, flying the Nigerian flag high. And doing my thing. I'm super happy to be here with y'all.
Yes, once again, I'll say welcome to Afrobeats in the morning. Sgawd, as you heard her name, I'm expecting that you're searching the name right now to know what she's talking about, who she is exactly. And let's start from your early life as a female child.
I'm a young female.
And then how you got influenced and what led you into music itself and then into rap itself. It's a culture now, so every parent is like super proud of everyone trying to do music now because it actually makes them look good compared to what they used to have as a stigma about it in the past. So talk to me about that. Where you grew up, did you grow up in Nigeria? Did you grow up outside of Nigeria? All of that story that led to who Sgawd is today.
Well, so my early life, pretty simple. I lived a very simple, sheltered life. I grew up with my parents, both my parents, in the south side of Nigeria. So I grew up in my village. One of those people that tell you that they grew up in their village.
All right.
I grew up in my village, around my cousins, around my grandparents. So it was a very family oriented lifestyle. And always with family oriented lifestyle like that, you guys tend to share certain things. So my introduction into music started with local stuff, local Nigerian music, mostly popular in the south side and the eastern side. Of course, Two-Face, Plantation Boys, all that nice stuff, Sky, Negaro, all those amazing people. That's what my early knowledge of music was. And then we now transition into DSTV with Channel O and Trace and all these amazing channels, American pop culture. So that was my introduction into music. And I would say I've always loved music from when I was a kid, because just enjoying music with my family, enjoying music on my own, dancing, sharing happy moments. Music has always been an integral part of me as a person. And when I was a child, I was in the kiddies choir. My mom put me in a choir, so it was a little cute thing till I think I was 7, and then I didn't participate actively in the choir anymore, but the rest of my family members were participating actively. So when I was in church, I was watching them. My mom would be the one that would tell you, oh, go give a testimony and sing a song after your testimony, that kind of thing. So I was, I was comfortable around music. I wasn't scared of it. I wasn't scared to explore, to enjoy, and to express in a musical form. When I grew a bit older, I moved away from my village to Abuja. And Abuja is like the capital of Lagos. It's very much different. It's a big place. So think, living in, a really small town or a really small province in Boston,
Right.
and then compared to where you have like, the Harvard uni. So it was a big change, but nonetheless, I still had, people around me and having friends around me that were from like similar backgrounds. So it wasn't that hard. It just kept being more music, more introduction into more sounds, more things that I liked. I think I got actively into making my own music. I was pretty much active at that point when I was in university, because that just really gave me the time to explore and to have fun like I'd never had before. I had my autonomy to now start making things. So when I started, that was my first time exploring it. That was in like 2015. I was in a song on SoundCloud with my friends. It was very mild stuff. Um, through my university life, I focused mostly on my career as a lawyer. So I'm actually an international trained lawyer. I'm trained in maritime.
Wow, that's
Yes.
nice. So Sgawd is also, she gets into the normal, she going to normal 9 to 5 life as well, aside being an artist. Right.
I worked a very regular 9 to 5. Worked in a company, did legal work. I went to school, went to graduate school, went to law school. So I've done the whole shebang. In 2020 was actually when I started proper making my music and releasing stuff on DSPs. Before that, it was just little freestyles here and there when I had the time, of course, because law is another jealous career. So
one of the two.
you know what I mean. So yeah, after COVID came and I decided to make a career change from law to pursuing music full time, and since then it's been a hell of a ride.
Yeah, hell of a ride, exactly how it is as a creative, especially in entertainment industry, especially in our industry that is now steadily becoming pop culture globally. I mean, it's pop culture already, but it's at that peak where, there's so many talents everywhere. There's so many artists everywhere.
Absolutely, I agree.
It's so saturated right now. So when people say it was complex before, like it was harder before to get popular globally. Now it's actually tougher because now there's so much.
It's way tougher, yeah.
Saturated. So you have to do more than what everybody's, because everyone now knows that I'm good at this thing. I can do this as well. Why am I not doing it as well? And it sounds very grounded.
Why are you not doing it? Yeah, I agree.
Exactly. You sound very grounded in school, pass through church as well, which is always like every creative that does music pass through church.
Yes, they always have like little church phase.
So most people that go through that stage are always very grounded. Rap music, and I also hear parts on your song as well, Jamaican parts on your song. I hear you speak your language in your song as well. Rap music itself, what generation of rap music influenced your rap music? One, and then your patois sound as well. Who are the artists that influenced your sound? Also, what generation of Nigerian music? Because this is part of your culture already. You've listened to the classics.
100%.
The point in time where African Queen was, you've listened to that generation of music. So generation of Nigerian music. Yeah, because
Face had his very good run.
Right, because I listened to all the Yoruba artists when I was young. I had tapes in my house, my parents had them, so I listened to them. I heard all those melodies as well. It's part of my personality as a creative as well, as a DJ especially. What generation of all these sounds created Sgawd as who she is today?
So, like I said before, I was listening to everything. Like when it comes to rap, I was listening to literally everything. My dad will have like tapes of, Crisscross. He would have, tapes of what's it called? You would have tapes of Jade. He would have like BIG tapes, Tupac tapes, you know, Mobb Deep tapes. Like I was listening to everything. I was listening to Lil Kim at an age I wasn't meant to, but I was listening to her.
Right.
I was listening to Foxy Brown. I was listening to a lot of Lauryn Hill. Lauryn Hill was very important. Then you have the Drakes. Then you have the Nicki Minaj. That I would mostly accredit to TV. So I was listening to like lots of Nelly as well. And then when I moved to the UK to do my first degree, to get my first degree in law, I was in Nottingham Trent. And if you know about Nottingham as a city, you know that Nottingham has a very big Afro-Caribbean community. Right. So that area that I happened to live had a lot of Caribbeans and a lot of Jamaicans. Yes. So I was like a lot of Caribbeans and a lot of Jamaicans. So I was listening to a lot of Caribbean music and a lot of Jamaican music. I had Jamaican friends. I had Caribbean friends. I was going for Caribbean parties. So I was listening to Vibe Cartel, Gaza, Spice. I was just Pressure, Sean Paul. Before I already knew like people like Sean Paul and like Patra and Buju Banton, just from like listening to music. But then living in a place with Jamaican people, understanding the lingo, getting a culture, feeling a part of, you know, a part of belonging, a sense of belonging, definitely made me to adapt Patois as, you know, a style or a language in some of my flows, because I really do like Patois, and you can't deny that Jamaican rhythm is something special, and we have such a strong connection with, you know, the Caribbean, just being Black people. So
right, it only makes sense.
Exactly. Anything that sounds nice, that's where I am. I was also listening to a lot of Nigerian rappers when I was younger. MI, Vector, Ikechukwu, so Sasha P, Blaze, you know, Wed MC. So like I think with music, I'm really just knowledgeable, and it doesn't matter what genre it is, as long as it sounds great. So that was it for me. I was just interested in anything that sounded nice and anything that I liked. So that was
right. That's awesome, because you've been through different genres of music, generations. You've learned the transition,
absolutely.
Lifetime sound, that lifetime, which makes, you know, which is the core part of music for most people.
Yes, there was a where rap was the hardest thing. The rest of them, and then you had the time where Cabo Snoop from Mozambique was also his thing. So there has been a lot of eras of music that people seem to, I don't know, maybe forget about, but all this music is all definitely contributing to the sounds that we have out today.
Yeah, exactly. Because recently, like 2 years ago, I just became like close to Cape Verdeans, and they're Africans as well, right? A lot of people Africans don't even see them as Africans. They'll be like, oh, okay, this
yeah.
like, that in Africa, guys, that's an island in Africa. So realize that their sound is cut across what we as Nigerians, what we as West Africans play around. They have it in all their music. The elements are in all their music. So we as Black folks, this is what always joins us with other Black people around the world, because we can sense, we can smell, we can hear similar things that we hear from our own music. So it's always relatable when I think your mic is mute.
No, it's not. I'm just not speaking.
All right. Yeah. So influenced every different part of our own world is similar to theirs. So it's easy for us to relate with it as well. Your writing process as a rapper and creating your music goes into this, and how do you go about every song you create? Because every song is a creation, and as a creative, everybody has.
So as any other artist, I would say most of my music, I think your creative process has to do with a lot about what your music is based on.
Right.
Is it based on, you know, fantasy? Is it based on real life? My music is definitely a mixture of both, you know, real life and fantasy, where I see myself or where I want myself to be. So I would say my creative process is really just talking about anything that I feel like talking about. Like music is genuinely a form of expression for me.
Right.
I was coming from a career where everything had to be done by book. And even if you were doing something out of your own volition, it had to be supported by jurisprudence, jurisprudence or whatever, in the past. So yes, so having the opportunity to be able to be flexible with my thoughts and my expression is one thing. And I would say to be able to keep the originality and that organic feeling, I try as much as possible to approach everything from a place of surprise.
Right.
So I don't really like to sit down to write my melodies. So I hear a beat and I'm straight off like, how does this beat make me feel? And I go from there and I kind of like mumble out melodies or mumble out however a flow or a cadence. And then I can now go back in and fill in some of the words and the spaces. I think it's more original that way. But I have written songs straight from composition. And I do believe that some songs need you to sit down and, compose. Right. But not, I wouldn't say for everything. It differs really how you feel and however, you feel like just attacking the day. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah. Now we know how you create your music. We know it comes from a place of how you're feeling at that point in time, your state of mind, how you want people to feel, how you want people to be able to interpret your thoughts through the sound of music.
Mm-hmm.
Your first EP, Sgawd, explicit from the name. When I saw the name, I was like, let me see what's, because I'm kind of very critical with explicit lyrics as a DJ. So I have this PTSD by default.
From explicit lyrics, because you're always trying to get clean versions.
So I'm like, how am I going to do this? Is what I'm thinking about in my head, right? And I'll come to that part of your music being sent to DJs. But let's talk about the first EP you dropped, Savage Beach Juice, and some of the tracks. It's kind of tongue twisting for me because I don't get to say all these words every time. So I'm trying to Savage. You
can just call it SBJ. So the shorter name is SBJ. Yes, right. SBJ.
I listened to the EP because when I listen to your song, when I listen to music sometimes, it's state of mind, right? So when I listened to it for the first time, I was like, because I heard Tefla before, and I've heard I think Pop Shit.
The rest of the EP.
Yeah. So I've heard those ones.
Yeah.
Some songs stick. When I heard them, I'm like, I've heard the song before. So I was listening to the whole catalog at the same time, and I was like in a different state of mind. So I was like, so today when I was listening over again, I heard Pop Shit again. I was like, I listened to Rude. I was like, okay, this is not what's the one hit situation. Is someone that knows what they are doing exactly, because the sound of the sound is there, the old school sound is there, the new school sound is there, the different combinations are there, and then there's also your language. Like, I don't know if it's Efik you speak or.
I agree. Yeah.
It's also
Efik. I speak Efik.
It's embedded in this album. Talk to me when that's your first project out, right? What went into creating these songs from track to track? What state of mind were you when you created this project? Like, let's understand the mindset behind the name and the tracks on the project, and then the time you release the project too. Like, what was the driving force? Mm-hmm.
So prior to this project, I had just quit my career being a lawyer and I'm making the change. So it was a lot of proving to myself, proving to my parents, proving to people that I could actually do this. And whether subconsciously or consciously, I didn't realize, but when I listen back at that project now, a year, or two after, or a year and some change after, I realized that, in that project, I was just kicking my foot in the door. Like, right. When you're just
trying to enter the space, I'll break the door.
You're just like, boom. You're just like, hey, clear way. That was kind of like what that project was for, because
already being a rap artist in Nigeria, or being a rap artist, period, you either had to be part of a group or a label that had other male artists, and you had to be the princess of the, that kind of thing. And I'm not part of a group or a label. I'm an independent, artist. I'm on my own. So it took a lot to take people to take me seriously. And I felt like the only way that I would be able to do that would be to drop a resounding project. Like, hey, this is me, this is my sound. You can't take it away from me, and you also can't duplicate it. So praise God, and thankful to my team, my producers, my manager, everyone that just put their hands in that project, and everyone that supported me and held my hand through that period. That project did exactly what it was supposed to do. It put me in the right space. It gave me the right positioning. It kicked my foot in the door, and it gave me my own lane.
Right, you stood
which I
out of the crowd. Right.
Because instead, the industry is very saturated at the time. And if you're out there doing the next thing that the next person is doing, or sounding like the next person, most likely get overlooked. But that project just really put me in a really good place, and I'm excited. I didn't know what I was doing at the time. I just wanted to be heard. I just wanted people to hear me. Not like I didn't know what I was doing. I hoped that I knew what I was doing. But yeah, that project definitely, it did something. Awesome. They changed the whole Nigerian female rappers. So I appreciate, and African female also, I appreciate that.
And I agree with you 100% because I listened to it. All the tracks are awesome. The flows, the lines, the catchphrases and all that in projects. I'm like, okay, this, because they keep recently and in the past, like some of the Jazzy have said, or if you're doing rap, your parents will be proud of you. Whiskey recently said rap is dead. But for the part, when they say rap is dead, then we see, I don't want to mention too many names because this is about you. The interview is about you. Because we've been seeing so many smash hits coming out of Nigeria and people are listening outside of Nigeria. Late a rapper that a song was used to unveil artists. So there's something about Nigerian music, typically globally, right, that we always do. If you can get the attention of the Nigerian crowd, they will blow your trumpet to the world through social media, which is something crazy. Yeah. So coming into that phase and having all these ideas of someone is saying this is not going to work, but these people are doing it and it's working. Like, how were you able to keep yourself grounded and keep going even after your first project? Because this is actually recent. Some other things have happened in the past, and even till now, like, was being the mindset you always carry with you and the energy you carry to keep yourself grounded and keep your dream alive, especially?
I would say this is to me, and this is to anyone out there who has maybe gone through the same thing or who has been in the same shoes. Everything that has ever been groundbreaking and great, no one ever saw.
Right. Truth.
So you might look crazy and you might look stupid and you might look ridiculous, but when it happens, you cease to look any of those things prior.
Right. Nah, yeah, the truth.
So kind of like the best thing you can do for yourself is stick to your sound, but as you're sticking to your sound, be critical about it. So listen well, develop your sound, study the greats that came before you, especially people who took a similar path, people who decided to coin a different sound or a different name for themselves. Look at how they've done it. Look at how they've packaged it. Look at how they've given it to people. Learn from that. Pray. Don't take all advice like to heart. Like, don't internalize everything. So when people are telling you, oh, they can't see it, or they don't think your music will pop off, don't internalize that. Only take the things that are going to benefit you. So when people tell you, oh, okay, try doing it this way, or, try looking at this market, go back and sit down and be honest with yourself. And it's like, okay, is this a positive move? You know, just try and be logical about everything and believe in your source. If you're out here saying that you sound different and you're special and no one can do it like you, then definitely there is something to it.
Right.
And it doesn't matter if 100 people or if 10 people or if 1,000,000 people, as long as there's a group of people that are appreciating it and are seeing what you're doing, the next step for you is to just scale it onto a bigger level.
Right.
So yeah.
Well, I agree with you 100%. And that's free tutorial right there from Sgawd to you listening. If you're an artist or you have a friend that's an artist that needs, sometimes you need like this is one thing you should say to them that will keep them grounded and make them know if they're born for this or not. Your most recent single, Boy Toy, in the old space right now where there's always on Twitter, especially because I just go to Twitter to laugh because I'm like, this is not for me. There's always fight here about, okay, women this, men that. Now you drop Boy Toy. What has been the most critical response to your song from people? This particular song.
This song, so far, they are loving it. Even the men
when
are
I say
loving
critical,
it.
when I say critical, I'm not saying in a bad way. Like, people are trying to use it as a conversation, is what I'm saying.
I know, like, so far, like, they're loving it. They're just, I think what I would say has been the most critical conversation is people are surprised at my cadence. Right. I think my first album, or my first EP rather, that was in 2021. I've grown so much as an artist. I've grown so much as a rapper. Like, I have way more confidence. The punchlines are like
a point.
Everything is just pop, 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 pop. So I think that's the most critical comments that I've gotten. People can recognize the growth just by listening to it. And that's what I appreciate. I appreciate that because I took a year off. In 2022, the only record I happened to drop was Telfa, and that was because I wanted to take a year off and just go back to the drawing board and improve my sound, grow as an artist, and see the other different genres that people can enjoy, rap music, and kind of see how I can capture the Nigerian sound and Nigerian experience a bit more. So I think Boy Toy was important. Everybody knows Nigerian babes love money. They know they like men that can give them money.
Right.
And Nigerian men too, they love spending their money on women.
That's sure. The lifestyle.
And they like to show off. So I think Boy Toy was just a track to appreciate that little part of our culture. When Jamaicans, they have songs about having the best wine, having the dirtiest wine, that's their culture.
Right, this is our culture, this is the way of life. Exactly, I agree with you 100%.
Exactly. Boy Toy is of our culture, but from a female's, that's my perspective.
Right. Boy Toy is out now, July 7th. It dropped. Make sure you go check it out. Add it to your playlist. Check out other songs out as well on all socials. It's spelled SGAWD01. Check out everywhere. You're gonna see on my Instagram as well, so you can follow as well. All that. One last question before I let you go. The transition from being a lawyer to becoming who you want to be, who you're expressing with, how did that transition work for you mentally? And then what were the key steps that you took to make sure that it didn't break you?
I can't lie, it was a hard decision already, just like going from another male-dominated space into another male-dominated space was hard. But then also just going from the corporate world into a more, flexible industry as well was hard. On my mental, on my pockets, on my everything.
Right.
But I would say for sure, just to be sure that you really want to do it. Don't do it because you think it's fun and you're seeing all the videos and you're seeing the glitz and the glamour. It is a lot of work. just as much as it's fun, it's a lot of work. These people are having sleepless hours, sleepless nights, long hours, standing on their feet all day, rehearsing.
Right.
You're seeing someone dropping projects. You don't know that their next project they are already working on it.
Exactly.
And the project is